All right, what is up, everyone? I have a handful of favorites from the brand Milani. I've been starting a series here on my channel. I have started, the teacher in me. I've started a series here on my channel of drugstore brands and my favorites from the brands. I probably eventually will dive into high-end brands as well, but I figure we're gonna start with the drugstore because quite frankly, I have tried a lot of the products from a lot of the brands. So today we're featuring Milani. I most recently did L'Oreal a couple of weeks ago. If you wanna check that video out after this, I will link it up in that little eye and I'll link it down below. Definitely subscribe. I do a lot of drugstore makeup here, so you will be getting lots of new videos. I also do vlogs and stuff like that too. Okay, also I'm Jessica. Hi if you're new. I don't know. I'm really digging my makeup today, and that makes me excited because of course I'm using a lot of these products. So let's start with the first thing on my face after my sunscreen was this. This is the Milani Supercharged Dewy Primer. This, the first time I tried it, like I wanna say a couple months ago here on my channel, I kind of felt like, like it looked hydrating on the skin. That was kind of all I noticed. But the more I've used this, the more I've realized this really makes foundation and BB cream sit well on my skin. The thing I do think that's kind of confusing about this is that it is not glowy. This has absolutely no shimmer whatsoever in it. It really is just giving you that hydrated, dewy look. I was gonna say oily, but I don't think it's oily. My biggest caveat here is that if you have oily skin, I don't think this is gonna be the one for you because I think it's gonna give your skin that look that you're trying to avoid. But I think anyone with normal to dry skin, this is gorgeous. It feels like you're just putting a nice moisturizer on. Like I said, I put it on top of sunscreen today. I feel like it sat really well on top of that. And it has like this kind of nice citrusy smell. It reminds me of the scent of like the Truth Serum from Ulla Henriksen, like all of those vitamin C type citrusy products. Oh, I have an itch right there. Try not to mess up my makeup. Kind of like you ever get a mosquito bite, and as a kid growing up, and I still do it as an adult, I'll just take my nails and make like an X on the mosquito bite just to like get rid of the itch without actually itching it. Do you know what I mean? Some of you guys are like, what are you talking about? And the rest of you are like, absolutely I do that. That's how I feel like. I gotta give a shout out to Milani as I look down at these products. Their packaging of things is so pretty. They always have like that shiny gold. They've been doing that forever. I feel like Milani has always used the same kind of packaging and I'm here for it. I love it. All right, so the next thing I wanted to talk about is actually an eyeliner from them. I feel like when you're standing in front of like a Milani display, it can get a little overwhelming. It's not nearly as big of a display as like Maybelline, CoverGirl, etc. But it's still a nice size display and I feel like they have really like added a lot to their product line over the years, of course. So even within the eyeliner range, they have a couple options. This one is my current favorite. It's their Stay Put eyeliner. Now this is a retractable one. I have it in 01 After Dark, which is just super black. They also have one that you can sharpen. I like just as much. I'll put the link to the one that you sharpen down below. They work very similarly though, so I feel like it just kind of depends on whether you'd prefer a like wooden sharpenable one or retractable. This one, when I put it on my eyelids, it's super dark. It is so ridiculously creamy, but it's still super pigmented and black. So it's gonna cover up if you have any glitter or shimmer. I feel like it covers it up really well. But one thing I like to do with it is what I did today. I take the other side of it, which is like a little sponge tip, and just use it to kind of blur out the line that I made. And I feel like, you know, you can still see that I obviously have eyeliner on, but it looks just a little bit blurred. And I feel like it makes your lashes look thicker at the base. Like it just is such a pretty look that I've been doing a lot lately. And this is really easy to get that with. Now, if you've heard me talk a lot about the Makeup by Mario eyeliner, it's like double the price of this at Sephora. And I love it for the same reason. I like to smoke it out. This does the same thing. So if you're not wanting to spend the money on that and you've been watching me a while and you've heard me talk about it, maybe give this a try because I feel like even though the sponge tip applicator is different than the Makeup by Mario little like brush they have, I feel like this gives the same effect. It's maybe not as precise if you want a wing, but beyond that, the formula is very similar. Another thing I like about this is I can put it in my like upper waterline like I did today, and it doesn't transfer down. So I would have to assume if you like to put it on like your lower waterline too, it's not gonna transfer, it's gonna stay where you want it. So I think this is awesome. It stays put, hence the name, and I highly recommend. I wanna see, I'm assuming they probably sell a brown and I might try that as well. I don't have a nail file with me right now and I have this like jagged area of my nail that is driving me insane and all I need is a nail file. I'm like thinking to myself like, what do I have around that I could like use as a makeshift one? like brick. Could I just do it on brick? All right, so another category from Milani I do feel like is pretty overwhelming is their lip product offering. And so this is my personal favorite right now, and it's the lipsticks that look like these. The name of them is, of course it doesn't say. I don't have the name of them right here, but this is what they look like. They have this really pretty quilted pattern on the actual packaging. And these are a lipstick that has a lot of color, but they're more slippery and moisturizing. So if you are looking for something not slippery, I would go for this one. This is the Bold Matte lipstick, and I have the shade I Am Happy, which I think is such a unique kind of pink shade, but it's like, I don't know, kind of corally pink. This is definitely a little more mattifying, but I think it still has a little bit of moisture to it. It's not so dry, but it doesn't slip around. These do slip around a bit, but I love the way they feel. So today I'm wearing this in the shade 110 Lustful. It's this really pretty kind of neutral color, but it's kind of peachy, pinky, brownie. It's like they combined all three. It's one of my favorite neutrals because I don't feel like it looks too any one direction, not too brown, not too peach, you know? But the one recommendation I have for these, if you find a shade you like, and I'll show you swatches of these too, is to wear them with lip liner, because I do feel like they look, and even with this, I use the Milani lip liner, and I love this, in the shade Most Natural. It's not the most perfect shade match for this shade, which I think is why it's not looking as clean as I want it to. But if you get a slightly deeper shade of a liner, and I do like Milani's line here, I feel like that paired with these is gonna look beautiful. It's gonna feel comfortable on your lips, and it'll just define that edge a little bit better. So this other shade I have is in Lingerie, number 130. This is like a deeper pink. So there's 110 Lustful. And then the other one I have is in 150 Role Play. This is a super bright, fun, kind of summery color. Look at that. Isn't that such a fun, like, kind of orangey coral red? Ugh. The best part about these is the other Milani lipsticks have this very particular kind of like fake watermelon smell that makes me literally nauseated. So if you don't like that smell, and maybe you've been burned before by Milani lipsticks, none of these two lines have that smell. If anything, it's maybe a slight vanilla, but I don't really notice a huge smell. So definitely go for this. Okay, one of the newer things I've tried from Milani that I was like, oh my gosh, it is so good, like absolutely on par, if not better than high end. So this is their Cheek Kiss Cream Blush. Now they do have a liquid one if you prefer that. I actually quite like this, but out of the two, I definitely prefer this format, so that's what I'm gonna talk about. I have the shade 110 Nude Kiss. This is such a creamy cream blush, but it blends in so beautifully. And what I think I like about it the most is that I feel like I have time to blend it in because it is a little bit more slippy. I don't feel like the second I like apply a bit to my cheek that I'm not gonna be able to blend it out. I have plenty of time with this. So on this side of my face, I use just a stipple brush. I use the e.l.f. small stipple brush. And a lot of times, once I've applied it, I might take my sponge, I might take my finger to kind of blend it in the rest of the way, because it does pack a punch. Then on this cheek, I just use my fingers, and it blends in beautifully like that. So it's one of those things that you can apply it a lot of different ways. It's very forgiving. It's super inexpensive compared to other cream blushes that are similar on the market, and I really, really like it. So I love this shade. I'd be curious if they made a shade a little bit lighter and peachier. I'd be interested to try that. I need to look again because I haven't looked in a while. And by the way, this dress I got at Target. It's a dress that's like a midi dress, and it's super comfy, and they might still sell it. If they do, I can link it below, but it's just one of my favorite, like, throw it on and you look kind of dressed up even if you didn't really try. Like, if anything, it's because I didn't shave my legs and I just needed to wear a longer dress. So I tried even less hard today. This bronzer is one that's been out for a while. It's their Silky Matte Bronzing Powder. I really do feel like this is very silky matte. Like, it's very powdery, like in a creamy way. I'm not making any sense. I'm trying to think of how to word it, but I just feel like it blends easily. Maybe that's it. For a powder, it seems to blend in very seamlessly, and that's why I'm considering it in my head like very silky, hence the name. Now, for me, I got the lightest shade. This is not gonna work for most people, but I really, really like getting one just slightly darker than my skin tone because I feel like I can add just that little bit of definition / sunlit look, you know? but it's really easy to blend in. It's easy, like if I get a little bit overboard, I can blend it in with a sponge and it looks so seamless and so pretty. They have other shades, of course. They have deeper shades than this, and I just think the formula is gorgeous. It stays in place really, really well. I've been out in like 90-degree heat with really high humidity and it stays in place, so highly recommend. This is one I 100% overlooked and would overlook again if I didn't know like how good it was. You know what I mean? This is their baked highlighter. I have it in 110. All of these I have are in 110. Literally, the lipstick I'm wearing is in 110. Cheek Kiss is in 110. What is going on with the number 110? My brother always jokes that he sees the number 108 everywhere. And I know like I think the Buddhist religion, isn't 108 like a sacred number? Correct me if I'm wrong. But he sees 108 like everywhere. It's so funny. So he'll text me all the time like, look, 108. I'm like, oh my gosh, Michael. So this is a baked product, which I don't typically enjoy because I always feel that there's gonna be like a top layer I have to scrape off. Like I remember back in the day when e.l.f. was like a newer brand, I don't know, 10, 15 years ago. And there was a baked highlighter everyone loved, but I always felt that I didn't want to take the time to have to scrape off a layer. Like I didn't want to even, I don't care if it was $2. Anyway, e.l.f. has way better products nowadays. Anyway, I did, shameless plug, just do an e.l.f. full face of a lot of my favorites from there if you want to check it out. Link below. Hey, if I'm not gonna advocate for myself, who will? So this is not like that old e.l.f. Bake highlighter at all. This is the most creamy, buttery highlighter straight out the gate. It is gorgeous. So a little bit goes a long way. I know not everyone's super into powder highlighters right now. That's cool. Honestly, I definitely reach for cream and liquid products more often, including in the highlighter category. But this is so beautiful. It makes me want to dip back into baked highlighter. So I'm wearing it today. You know, you can put on a lot, you can put on a little. I like it on my brow bone. I mean, it's just stunning, catches the light beautifully. Because it is so creamy and buttery, I feel like it doesn't look like a powder on your skin. It really does kind of give the effect of a cream or liquid product. So I love it, highly recommend, highly recommend. I think that's it. I have a couple other Milani products I'm not gonna mention here because I like them, but they're not that top tier of things that I'm like, wow, everyone needs to know about this. So I hope you enjoyed this. If you did, give it a thumbs up. Definitely check out the other drugstore videos that I've made recently. I have an entire playlist. If you just wanna binge watch about some drugstore makeup, you certainly can. I will provide you with a playlist. But let me know what drugstore brand you wanna see next in this format. I'm trying to do them at least once a month, maybe twice a month, kind of depending. I hope that you'll subscribe to catch more of my videos. I'd love to have you join our little family here, and I will see you guys in my next one.